Hey, this is future Grady coming at you. Just wanting to let you know that in the beginning of this video, I totally forgot to record the video. I just recorded the audio. So you'll eventually see this face in the video, but not in the beginning. Secondly, I want to let you know that this was an incredibly weird video to edit because of this slightly awkward topic that I am not at all an expert on. I cut out probably 2/3 of what I had to say, and the 1/3 that I left in is still questionable at best. Thirdly, I will shave after this video. Don't worry, I just needed to talk to you right now. So without further ado, let's get to the video. If you are watching this video, and if you clicked on this video, you are probably wondering, why the heck is a young adult male coming here on YouTube and talking about old period myths for women? And the answer is, there is no good reason other than one simple fact. I swore to Miss Evelyn Millis Duvall, who is a being that died literally the day before I was born. I swore to her that I would read through her book and discuss it chapter by chapter for you here on YouTube. And by swearing to her, what I really mean is I swore to you guys that I would walk through her book, but potato, potato. So Miss Evelyn had the outright audacity to start her book, chapter 1, right from the get-go, about girls maturing from childhood to womanhood. This crazy chapter taught me way more about women than I'd probably ever want to know or need to know. But I'm here to fill you in on what I learned. Hello, my name is Grady and I am a 22-year-old boy who has never dated a girl longer than 22 hours. I am here reading this book written in 1957 called Facts of Life and Love for Teen-agers. Yep, you read that right, Teen-agers. And I'm here to commentate on everything that I'm learning to see if I can apply any of it to my day-in-day life and love. I'm gonna try to make this video a shorter video, we'll see how that goes, but I'm just gonna rattle off some of the things that I personally didn't know. As a man, let me just talk to the men real quick. As a man, if you ever want to end up in an actual relationship with a girl, it's probably important that you know how girls operate. So men, this is really out there for you. Girls, ladies, if I got anything wrong in this video, if this book got anything wrong, I would have no idea. So I need you to comment below if this book did get anything wrong, because I'm just gonna assume everything in this is true. I learned what bosom meant, and I had never had any idea what bosom meant. You know, growing up I had assumed what bosom meant. There's a thing in the Bible called Abraham's bosom, and it's used as a metaphor, and I had always thought that bosom meant stomach when it actually meant chest. Another thing this book tackled was girls' pressure to have falsies when they're maturing because they might feel insecure about where they're at in their body development versus other people in their body development. And I was surprised that a book from 1957 even talked about that. To any girls, young girls watching, I have no idea who YouTube's gonna kick this video out to over the next few years. But if you're young in the developmental process, don't worry, you're fine as you are. You don't have to resort to trying to use falsies. If you don't know what that means, doesn't matter. I learned that girls have body odor too, and I feel like actually this one's gonna help me in my love life a lot, because if I wake up next to a girl and she has body odor, I'm gonna realize, wow, A, it's not only men, and B, we all need showers. And I think it's gonna give me more grace for the girl that I wake up next to. I learned that underarm hair is a thing for girls, and this was a thing that I knew in the back of my head, but I like shoved to the side because it's something that I don't really want to visualize and think about. Is like, imagine the prettiest girl you know, and then imagine her with like thick underarm hair underneath. For me, that's just not my personal preference. I'm sure girls have a lot of personal preferences about how guys look and manicure themselves as well. I shouldn't be scared if I see a little, straggly hair out of my future wife's underarm. But future wife, if you're listening to this, I would prefer if you shave. This next info was very interesting to me because it showed me some interesting aspects that I didn't necessarily know about the scheduling of a period. It was talking about how a number of things can throw off the schedule of a period. and that shouldn't necessarily alarm the woman, but it came interesting for me to know as a man that I don't want to cause these things in a woman because I don't want to mess up their lives in general, and that also relates to how their body behaves. So these are the things that can throw off a period schedule. And before I say this, I'm kind of wondering if these are still proven or disproved. So anyway, the book says a cold in the head can throw off the schedule. Being chilled through your whole body, I don't even really know what that means, but that can throw off the schedule. Getting emotionally upset, going through some exceedingly exciting circumstance, it says. So I learned right there, maybe I shouldn't give girls a cold in the head, chill them throughout their bones, emotionally upset them, or excite them overall. Alright, so now we get to the whole point of the video. What are some period myths? What are some old wives' tales that are told about periods that are absolutely untrue? So it's interesting that this book felt the need to point these out because of the fact that literally people back in 1957 sometimes thought that these things were true. So some people back in the day said that having a period was a sickness. So that is fake news right there. A false statement back in 1957 was right when the flow starts, as the book points out, you need to go straight to bed. Another myth, if you wash your hair while on your period, it will stop your flow. Another myth was that you shouldn't drink cold water while on your period. I don't know why that was a statement, but it was. Another myth was that you can't ever take a bath while on your period. Another myth was that period blood is bad blood, as this book says. So like people were acting as if this blood was like especially evil or something compared to the rest of your blood, and you had to like dispel evil on a monthly basis if you're a woman. And so that is clearly wrong. If you thought that, well, you're wrong. And Evelyn wanted you to know that. Another myth back in 1957 was that during your period, because you're losing blood, that you are being weakened as a woman during that time. And what I mean is like you're running out of energy, like you're on your deathbed. That is a myth. There's only a few spoonfuls of blood lost every period, which is obviously like nothing. Okay, so this myth, I have two more myths. This one was weird. It was very weird. It said plants tended by girls with their period wither and die. So this myth, I think, is rooted in the fact that when you have your period, you can't do anything other than like lie around and feel sorry for yourself. That is not the case. Okay, so this myth was really weird to me. It says milk poured by a woman with her period sours. People literally thought that the milk would go sour because it was served up by a girl with her period. So can you imagine being in a restaurant in 2021 nowadays, and you order milk, a girl brings you milk, she's the waitress, and you ask, hey, are you on your period? Because I don't really want to drink sour milk. Yeah, that's kind of a messed up myth. This was also interesting. I personally believe that this makes sense. Some people out there might argue that this is not true. I think it is a factor. It says in the book that having a period is made worse by feeling sorry for yourself and being scared about your period and also being overdramatic about your period. And before you come attacking me for saying that, I will say that this was written by a woman, so she had periods as well, and that was what she was saying. I personally believe that when we go into something hard, if we have the right mentality, it's going to be a little easier to handle than if we have a negative mentality. And so that is what Evelyn was saying about the periods. Take it or leave it. This is her advice to girls with a period. She says, perk yourself up when a period is on its way. Dress just a little more prettily than usual. Walk as though you love life. Hum a little tune to yourself, smile a little wider than usual, go out of your way to be pleasant to others. Before you know it, you'll have yourself convinced that you really do feel glad to be alive, and you. But she also says, if you literally cannot get out of bed because of your period, you really need to go to a doctor, consult a doctor. But she does say this, if you're having a bad attitude, it may be making you feel more miserable. And she said the doctor will likely tell you that. She said that doctors today, as in 1957, are wise enough to know that our mental attitudes about things are quite important to how we actually feel about them. Alright, so that was the weirdest video I will probably ever make on this channel, and 25% of me during this whole thing was like, why in the heck am I making this video? But I promised Evelyn Millis Duvall that I would not be ashamed of talking about anything in this book, and so I decided to discuss it. But to get us back on track, if you're a girl watching this, and if I totally butchered something about how periods work, tell me in the comments, educate me. Your education will help me a lot. Secondly, the whole point of reading this book is so that eventually me as a 22-year-old boy who has never dated a girl longer than 22 hours can someday date a girl for 23 hours or more. And so personally, I believe that knowing these things in advance, instead of asking a girl about, hey, how does your period work? You know, that might get me some brownie points with the girl. She doesn't have to feel like she's my biology teacher instead of my partner. And so that's all of the things that I have for you today. If you like this video, press like. If you felt slightly uncomfortable in this video, press like as well, because I'm right there with you. If you have something to tell me about what I said, if I was right, if I was wrong, comment below. Subscribe for more videos like this. We're not gonna be as awkward down the line, but we learn together. And it's all part of the journey. And I'm thankful that you came on this journey with me. So have a great day, and we will talk in the next episode when we cover what it looks like when a boy matures.